Hi everybody. I'm showing you all the activities that I do now that I have a lot of free time so that I'm not spending a lot of time online or shopping or looking at items, specifically handbags, which are my weakness. I really enjoy looking them up and researching them, but I'm trying not to do that too much. I want to kind of occupy my time with some other things that are also investigative, but in a different way. So I'm going to show you some of the activities I have here, and I think some of them are really good, and I would like to share them with you. So the first thing I do, obviously, is an easy one, is I read a book. And right now I'm reading Clive Barker, and it's called Cabal, and it is a scary horror story. And I really like it. I'm almost halfway through. It is picked based on just the author. So I really like Clive Barker. I think he's a great writer. And I've read some of his other books. Specifically, I think is The Unknown Cadet. Oh, sorry. I kind of turned on a game I'm going to show you that I play, and it made a lot of noise. But this is a great book, and I really enjoy it. I do need to read it more often. And actually, I wanted to show you because I need glasses to read. In fact, I need glasses to do a lot of things, and I refuse to wear them. So that's a different problem for a different conversation. But for Christmas, I got this great gift of a magnifier. Now, I don't think my vision is that awful, but anything that I can do to help me out. So this is a page magnifier, and actually, if I turn on this part, I get like a little light, and I can open the book, and it will, I can hold it up. So you do have to kind of like figure out the distance that works for you and kind of hold it up. But honestly, that doesn't bother me too much, especially if I'm sitting down. Maybe in bed that might bother me, but I've actually tried it in bed and I thought it was fine. So yeah, that's excellent. I love this gift. And I try to do reading about half an hour every morning to get that time in. So in addition to reading, I also play a couple of games in books. So this is called Cold Case Files Brain Games. I got this off of Amazon. In fact, I bought a second one, which is Sherlock Holmes puzzles. And every page has a very simple kind of puzzle to do and to look through. And there are mazes, there's matching things, word scrambles, spot the difference type of thing, read a story, answer questions. It's like little things just to take up time. I do this a lot before bed. Reading, I don't do too much in bed anymore at night because I find that I don't get that far because I get tired of the visuals. I used to be able to read at night for like hours or in the middle of the night for hours. I can't do that anymore. But I like to do this one. I haven't started this one yet, but I am looking forward to starting it eventually. Another thing I do before bed that I talked about before was the 3D stickers. And in a short, I showed you a few of the ones that I do. And you can see that these are like little 3D scenes. I don't know if you can see, like I have a lot of glare from the TV in the background that's on for the light. And some of them are just totally adorable. And they're very cute. They study, it's very tactile, fine motor skills. It uses isometry. You have to gauge where the item is supposed to go in the picture. This one I made a lot of mistakes on, but you can kind of see super adorable little scenes here. And a little home. It's so nice. And I've actually given these to my students at school. This one's a more involved one. This is beautiful. Am I holding it upside down? Yes, I am. It's kind of like a Harry Potter one. It's really adorable. And it's a nice way to pass time without just mindlessly scrolling, which is what I don't want to be doing. Another one that I have, and this is where my computer comes in, is a video game on my computer. Oh, hi, the glare. It's called Strange Antiquities. And basically, any kind of game that you enjoy. I used to enjoy Skyrim, Elder Scrolls. I like to play Fallout 4. These are like first person shooter type things, but you explore worlds. And I like those kind of games. So this one's a little bit different. This one, you're running a shop. It is an antiquities shop, and you are getting customers, and you have to listen to what they need and then give them, do research on the item that they want, and look in your um, shelves for the item. And sometimes it's a totem, sometimes it's a medallion, and you can label the medallions. You see there's a woman in the middle. She's got a request, and you have to kind of figure it out. But something nice about it is that once you look, you can investigate the medallion itself. And in investigating, you can see how it smells. You see on the side here what it smells like, what it looks like, what it feels like, what it is made of. And then you can make little notes for yourself so that you kind of learn the items. And you're learning kind of old time lore about how people used or thought about these old styles of medicine and warding away evil spirits, protections, things like that. So I find it very, very low key, very stress free and relaxing. So I'm going to close that one out, and I'm going to open the other one, which is more investigative. It is called the Obra Dinn, and it is a very interesting style of game, in which it's all black and white. I'm going to open it up so that you can see it. So while it's loading, the return of the Obra Dinn, sorry. So while it's loading, I'm going to talk to you about a game that I'm playing cooperatively with Joe, which is highly recommended for really nice evenings with friends and family or whoever. And it is the Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. And I found this from an online YouTube site where this guy, I think it's Co-op for Two or something, he reviews mystery games, and he plays a whole bunch, and he's reviewed a lot of them. So he reviewed this one very highly. And what I like about it is that there are 10 case files. There is a booklet for each case of all the people that you interview and everywhere you go. There is a directory. So if you want to look up someone specific, you can use the directory to find their names. So you can find out where they live, and then you can look it up here by number. There's always a newspaper of the day that usually will have something. I think pretty much in every single case, there's something going on in the newspaper that gives you a clue as to what's happening. And the idea is that you're going to take notes. You're going to talk to each other about it. I think Joe took like a lot of notes here. This is Joe's notebook for the Sherlock Holmes case files. So he got really into it, and you really do need to take notes. We're on the last case, and actually he bought me one for Christmas as well. So I'm kind of writing down the final notes for this case. It takes a couple of nights, I would say, depending on how quickly you kind of figure out the clues. It could take you maybe a couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours. I would say for us, it takes us, I would say in total about 5 to 6, because we split it up on the days, and we generally work about an hour on it. And then the next time we work on it, which might be a few days later, we have to take time to refresh ourselves to what we were up to. And then we'll make a little bit of progress, talk about it, and then probably end for the night, because I don't really function past 8:30. mentally. I'm kind of done for the night. So, unfortunately, Joe can keep going. He's a night owl, but I do not. So here's the other game. It's called The Return of the Obra Dinn, and it is no instructions on how to play this game. In fact, you are just walking around the ship with a compass, and it's just black and white lines. There's no color, and you are kind of looking around a scene. So you see how I'm shifting the camera, and I'm looking for clues based on where I am, and there's a still of a scene happening, and I have to look at the scene and figure out what's going on there just by the picture. And there's a book I look at to put in my clues, and my job is to identify the people on the ship and how they died. How they died, who were they, and there was something else about it. I don't remember. It was like 2-3 things that you had to find out about the people. So I kind of really like the game. It is hard. It does require a lot of movement on the keys and trying to get the right angle to figure out what's going on in the scene. So I would say in that sense it's challenging. So Strange Antiquities is less stressful for just some easygoing nighttime stuff. So I'm going to close that out. But in terms of the laptop, in addition, and I did a short yesterday where I was talking about creating a budget template for myself and being resourceful about creating things that I need instead of just immediately trying to just go buy it. So it's also making me clever. Like I'm getting smarter, right? I'm learning something through trying to be resourceful. So yesterday I made a budget tracker on Google Sheets. Basically, kind of based on, I'll bring it up again real quick, based on what I saw, some budget templates. So I opened Google Sheets and I kind of put in my income sources, what I anticipate getting, what I actually got that month or for that paycheck. And then here my spending plan, which is the things that I need to buy for the month: groceries, beauty products, pharmacy, whatever. What I plan to spend on that month. And then the actual spend, whether I followed through on what I thought I would spend, or if I went over or under. And that way I can make the next month adjust accordingly. This is really good because this can vary. Fixed expenses do not vary, generally speaking. These are things you must pay every month and they are fixed costs. For me, it's my rent, which I share with my husband. So my portion of that is $1,000. I pay my phone, I pay my car insurance, I pay gas, I pay my daughter's car insurance. And the only thing that's variable here is the credit card payment. So that might vary from month to month. And it kind of overlaps from here because I use my credit card to pay for, say, groceries or pharmacy items, right? So there's a little bit of an overlap that I'm going to have to take into consideration. But then here, I think these are my investments and my savings accounts. So I want to keep track of it. I have a high yield savings account and I've got 2 investment retirement accounts. Then let me see what I have here. Oh, these are my goals, financial goals, things I want to do. So I want to go to Egypt. What else? I have an emergency fund that I need to create. Beauty treatments, like I want to, I got some filler, a little bit here and a little bit there. And I'm already in my late 40s, so I'm trying to maintain and just do a little bit of preventative. I don't think I'm going to go nuts. I'm just going to try and age gracefully. But I do want to take care of my skin. I want to age so that I look good while I'm aging. So yeah, you might think it's a vice, but it's something I choose to do. What else do I have here? Oh, Sophia's tuition. And then eventually I have to pay off her loans, and I finish paying my loans, which luckily I don't have a lot of them. And then of course, at the end of the day, you have your net worth, which is going to be your investments minus your things that you pay, that you have to pay, right? So it'd be all my investments, my teacher's retirement, my investment account, my high yield savings, minus the tuition debt that I have for Sophia and my credit card debt. So luckily it's not out of control and I can take care of it. So I'm expecting that that net worth hopefully will just keep going up. And yeah, so I'm doing that for every month, and I just created it myself. I said, you know what, I'm gonna do this project. I picked one from online, a picture. I just Google image a budget template. I looked at a few of them, found the one that I liked the best, and I just tried to recreate it with the columns in Excel. And yes, I have to now keep track of my transactions, but you know, that's okay. Like, this is my little project that I'm putting together, and it will by and large help me to keep track without having to spend on a budget app, which at this point I don't want to spend money on that anymore. So I do that. The second thing I'm doing is creating a D&D, Dungeons and Dragons adventure for my family. And I'm working on the Storm King's Thunder. So what I do is I look up any free information about the different chapters in the campaign, and I watch a lot of YouTube videos of people running the campaign, so I know what's happening and going on. And then I write notes for myself, and I create, you know, the scene that I want to read to them. And I cut and paste items that I find, and I think I have also maps that I found free online, and I put them together. And I will take this map, let's say, and go to a, what is it? Not a Costco. I want to call it a kiosk, but I don't know if that's right. But it's a place where you can do printouts, and they'll blow it up into like a large poster for you, so that I can put it on the table and we can put our little figurines on them. So that's a cute project. It's something that I want to do for my family. It is a gift for my family, and it really taps into my creative self and my resourcefulness self. So I'm trying to look online for all these images. Then maybe I have some little physical items in the home that I can incorporate into the adventure. And it takes something that is a shell or a template for me, and then I create a homebrew story out of it for my family's characters, right? So each character, each player has a backstory, a strength, a weakness, something about their character that's special that I'm going to want to try to incorporate in the story in some way, shape, or form. So I'm working on that right now, and I'm just writing it out. So I'm in the beginning. Actually, I have that map twice. I actually wanted to move it around. And then I cut and paste pieces from like other free sources that I can find. But basically, I'm watching YouTube videos of people playing through the game, or DM guides and tips to tweak the game to make it even better based on their experience. And then I'll take what I like and I leave what I don't. But the point is that this is a project that I enjoy very much. It taps into my creative self, and I can enjoy it with my family. So those are a lot of the items. Also, I got a Kindle from my husband. So here I'm going to put, once I'm finished with the physical book, at night I do want to read, I want to be able to read at night, but without my glasses. So I got the Kindle, and I can make the font really big. Although maybe it should have been bigger, but that's okay. I can make the font really big, and I can read through it. And he already has books on there that I can read. So I have a lot of things. The one thing I didn't show you is my art, and I am painting. I'm a painter on the side, and I do it as a hobby, although I do show my work in galleries and I do sell my work. But it is something that really requires inspiration. So I do go to the Metropolitan Museum regularly, or MoMA. I'm so fortunate to live in New York City where there are a lot of museums. The Frick Collection, Guggenheim. Anytime I need an inspiration to start painting, I just go to these places. In fact, I'm going on Tuesday to the Met with a friend of mine, Anna, and we're gonna go see the exhibits that are currently on view there. And I know I'm gonna come back and immediately want to start painting. So actually, I have a painting I'm working on because I also find the best paintings that I like from my favorite artist, and I try to recreate them so that I can have them in my home instead of having a poster. So actually, I have one I'm gonna show you. So let me just step away for a second so I can go get it, and I'll be right back. Here it is. I'm currently working on this. I think this is a Matisse painting. This is the very beginning of it. And I have a picture of it on my phone, and I just pick the colors that I have. I don't buy new paints for these paintings. I only use the paints that I have available at home. So it kind of makes it a little bit different than the original, even though the general layout is the same. I'm working on this one, and as you can see, it's very early in the process. There's supposed to be someone sleeping here. And I'm gonna work on finishing it because I wanna put this up. So I get inspired to make paintings, and what I do is sometimes I go to, Home Goods, and I go to their painting section. And there are some paintings or, canvas prints that they have that are already framed. And I find the ones with nice frames and I buy them. So, and then I paint over whatever is there with my own. So it already is framed for me, and I don't have to get it framed separately. And I'm working on that. And I also make my own paintings. So I have one that I recently peeled off a piece of glass, which is what I paint on. And that is also a YouTube video that I have on here. So be sure to check it out if you're interested in my process. For the future, I also want to make a lot of YouTube videos based on all these activities so that I can share them with you. And you can kind of see if any of these inspire you. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next video. Enjoy, take care, bye.